When I was 18, I picked up an unwanted wild teen girl by the roadside. I tried really hard for a long time, but I never could thaw her cold heart. Then her longtime crush showed up. Only then did I realize she did have a soft side, just not for me. The day I decided to let go, I told a lie, said I'd be right back. And then I never came back. We met again on a film set 7 years later. Now a movie queen, she grabbed me again. Be right back. Where the hell did you go? My palms were sweating like crazy from nervousness. The newly crowned Best Actress Bai Ningbing was only 5 meters behind me. I'd run right into her if I turned around. Ms. Bai, your next scene is a reunion with your ex. You need to show longing and reluctance to let go. Bai Ningbing chuckled softly. Longing? I don't think that fits. He's already an ex. What's there to long for? Her voice was still as cold and distant as I remembered. Back when I was 18, it was with this exact voice that she called me Xiaoyu, sometimes soft, sometimes gruff. The discussion behind me went on. I couldn't make out what the assistant director said, but Bai Ningbing's detached voice came through loud and clear. I forgot about my ex ages ago. I don't do getting back together with exes, as the ex in question. I had no intention of revealing who I was either. We'll go our separate ways once filming wraps. I was just thinking that when a coworker called my name super loud, Xiaoyu, did you find the prop? It went dead silent behind me all of a sudden. I grabbed the prop and ran off in a panic. Bai Ningbing didn't chase after me. Maybe she didn't hear it, or maybe she did, just didn't care. While we were setting up the studio, I told my coworker, call me Xiaofang next time. Why? What's wrong with calling you Xiaoyu? Xiaoyu sounds so nice. Xiaofang sounds more professional, that's all. My coworker burst out laughing and bought that excuse. This is my first gig as an assistant director. I knew the female lead was Bai Ningbing before I joined the crew. She's a nepo baby. She's got connections to half the entertainment industry. And on top of that, she's a great actress. She won Best Actress when she was only 25, and I, unfortunately, was her first boyfriend. I hesitated a lot about taking this job, but I didn't want to pass up such a great opportunity. So I came anyway. I swore to myself, she absolutely can't find out I'm here, or I'm totally screwed. Because our breakup 7 years ago was super messy, I wrote in the letter, I always knew you were a celebrity kid. I only got close to you to dig up dirt on your family. I never actually liked wild girls like you. I prefer gentle girls. Let's never see each other again, as cool as those words sounded. I left looking just as pathetic. I have no idea how Bai Ningbing felt after reading that letter, but she's the type to hold grudges and get even. If she finds out I'm here, I might even get blacklisted from the industry. Bai Ningbing looks even more beautiful in person than on screen. Her genes are just insane. Duh, look who her parents are. They were both Best Actress and Best Actor back in the day. Of course she's gonna look better than the rest of us, but I love Bai Ningbing's vibe. She's so elegant and well-mannered. She must have been the school belle back in high school, right? I almost choked hearing that. Bai Ningbing, the school belle. That's so wrong. Not only was she not the school belle, she was the terrifying troublemaker everyone avoided like the plague. I'll never forget the first time I saw her. It was pouring rain. Everyone on the street was rushing around, but she was sitting motionless by the roadside like a corpse. I walked up to her, and that's when she looked up. Her tone was so harsh back then, piss off. But I didn't leave. I just held an umbrella over her head instead. That's how our story started. I shook my head to shake off those memories. The studio was way too noisy, so I went to the stairwell to get some quiet. But as soon as I opened the door, I saw Bai Ningbing standing in the dark. She was staring at me coldly, just like she did all those years ago. The stairwell was dark and quiet. I lowered my head and tried to leave, but Bai Ningbing called out to stop me. What do you do here? Assistant director. Getting to work for Director Zhang right after graduation. You're pretty good. Thank you, Ms. Bai. How old are you? She gave a soft smile. She said lazily, we're the same age. And you call me teacher. The assistant director is also called Teacher Bai. He's 43 years old. Then say it again. I bit the bullet and said, Teacher Bai. I couldn't see Bai Ningbing clearly in the dark. She seemed to lift the corner of her mouth, but it was a cold, completely emotionless smile. My skin started crawling, but I still held out a sliver of hope. There's no way she recognizes me. Compared to 7 years ago, I've changed almost completely. I went from a sallow, skinny little twig to a cute guy who gets compliments all the time. Even my relatives barely recognize me now, let alone in the dark like this. Get some rest, Teacher Bai. I'll head back first. Wait. She stopped me again. What's your name? Fang Chen. Have you ever gone by any other name? No. Bai Ningbing fell silent. I broke out in a cold sweat. My name used to be Fang Chen. I changed it to Fang Xiaoyu later. She lied to me once. Now I'm lying to her once. That makes us even... The summer vacation of my first year in high school, I found Bai Ningbing on a street corner. She said she had nowhere to go. She had no family, and I believed her. I thought she was just like me, a poor kid no one wanted. When I was little, my parents got divorced, and each started their own new family. They both had sons with their new spouses, and neither of them wanted me. I was sent to live in my aunt's basement. I was always a really good kid growing up, because if I behaved, at least I'd get something to eat. Bai Ningbing and I were totally different people. I was introverted and quiet, and besides studying, I knew nothing about anything else. In 11th grade, Bai Ningbing and I got put in the same class. No one knew what her family did for a living. There were even rumors that she had no parents, that she was homeless. At school, we acted like total strangers. But no one knew that every night, Bai Ningbing would knock on the basement window. I'd clear a small spot on the floor for her to sleep on. The next day, before my aunt woke up, she'd leave super early, like she'd never even been there. Bai Ningbing skipped class all the time, and she was always getting hurt. Every time I put medicine on her wounds, she'd say, Fang Xiaoyu, can you be gentler? Call me Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu, can you be gentler? Xiaoyu is my nickname, given to me by my grandma who's passed away, compared to my formal name, Fang Chen. I like this nickname way better, since Bai Ningbing always came to crash at my place. I subconsciously thought she was even worse off than me. On top of that, I had this silly misconception. Once I forgot my textbook for class and the teacher was yelling at me. Bai Ningbing walked from the back row all the way to the front and tossed her own textbook onto my desk. Even though I'm a guy, I hit puberty really late, so I was pretty short back then. Kids from other classes used to pick on me all the time. Every time I was too upset to argue back, Bai Ningbing would step in front of me and say, he's under my protection. I stupidly thought we had this special bond where we understood each other. It wasn't until later that I realized there was no such bond at all. Bai Ningbing is a celebrity kid. Her family owns tons of properties and sports cars. One pair of her shoes cost more than all my clothes for a whole season. She was just using me to make her family mad, that's all. When did I figure it out? Probably the day Lu Jingnian showed up. My thoughts got cut off. After I got back to the studio, someone stuffed a cup of milk tea into my hand. Lu Jingnian came to visit the set again and bought milk tea for everyone. Look, that rich, handsome guy is standing next to the movie queen. They look perfect together. I looked over at where they were standing not far away. Bai Ningbing had her head tilted, listening to Lu Jingnian talk beside her. Just like everyone else. I couldn't take my eyes off that perfect scene. All of a sudden, Bai Ningbing seemed to sense my gaze and looked right at me. I immediately looked down. When I looked up again, Bai Ningbing wasn't looking at me anymore, like that glance had just been my imagination. Ningbing, come with me to the Paris fashion show after you wrap up filming, okay? His tone was exactly the same as it was 7 years ago. I couldn't help but get lost in my thoughts again. Back in high school, Bai Ningbing and I had always had a purely innocent classmate relationship, until the summer after the college entrance exam. Did Bai Ningbing and I finally start dating? Ningbing wasn't super affectionate, but she never turned me down either. She just still never said anything sweet to me. In some ways, she was a pretty decent girlfriend, like she was thoughtful and caring, and always saved face for me in public. Ningbing never took me to meet her friends. Once I went to the pool hall to look for her, hoping to surprise her, but she had a total cold face on and snapped irritably. Don't ever come here again. I didn't think too much of it back then. I just thought that was how she was. Until Lu Jingnian showed up. He was wearing a super expensive suit, had a perfectly styled haircut. He popped up in my world like a beam of light. Bing Bing, what are you doing here? I just bought a Ferrari. Want to go for a ride? The word Ferrari almost made me throw my back out in shock. Lu Jingnian saw my wide eyes and looked confused. Bing Bing, who's this guy? Hi, I'm Bai Ningbing's boyfriend. Ha, you gotta be kidding me. There's no way Bing Bing would ever date you. I'm her future boyfriend. Our families have a marriage arrangement. Says who? Bai Ningbing pushed Lu Jingnian out with a dark face, her tone dead firm. That marriage arrangement with him. I never agreed to it. Her explanation sounded totally weak. Later, Bai Ningbing's parents came to find me. That's when I found out she's a celebrity kid, and not just a regular one either. Her family basically controls half the entertainment industry. Ningbing doesn't get along with her parents. She deliberately transferred from an elite private school to a public high school and purposefully refused to go home. Her parents are away all year round and never paid much attention to their daughter. They had no clue what she was up to every day. At the end of that conversation, Her dad said to me, "Classmate Xiaofang, you might not know this. Even though Ningbing is a girl, she's super rebellious. She's dating you just to get back at us. She doesn't actually like you. She's pulled this kind of stunt many times before. If you don't believe me, just watch how she treats Jingnian. She's in love with Jingnian. They grew up together since they were little. She just hasn't realized her feelings yet. Classmate Xiaofang, you're not from the same world as us." Later, I found out her dad wasn't lying. Even though she said she found him annoying, Ningbing was super patient with Lu Jingnian. Once Lu Jingnian was making fun of me for being poor one second, and the second Ningbing showed up, he put on a super wronged face. Bing Bing, Fang Xiaoyu just said he was gonna hit me. Fang Xiaoyu, I told you before, don't mess with him. That's when I realized Ningbing wasn't an unfeeling rock. She just never bloomed for me. At the end of August, I accepted Ningbing's parents' terms and studied abroad with their financial support. With my background, this was probably my only chance to study abroad ever. The day I left, I told Ningbing I wanted to go buy some chocolate. Ningbing took out her wallet out of habit. "Get the most expensive one." "I didn't take it. I don't need your money. I'll be right back." "Okay, I'll wait for you." But I never came back. As per Ningbing's parents' request, I left a horrible breakup letter to completely get Ningbing to give up on me. This 3-month-long first love of mine, as autumn arrived, quietly died out. I changed my name and cut off contact with all my high school classmates. I used to be super invisible back then and got bullied a lot by classmates. I cherished this hard-won chance to study. I also learned to work out and dress well. My name and appearance both changed completely. Plus, Ningbing's parents deliberately covered my tracks. Ningbing had no way to find me at all. In her eyes, I was as good as dead. But I still heard a lot about what was going on with Ningbing. After I left, she decided to retake the college entrance exam, got into Beijing Film Academy, and debuted. Her career as a celebrity took off smoothly. She's gentle and elegant on camera. Her charming smile makes all her fans swoon. You'd never guess what she was like back then. I guess people all change. I changed too. After work one day, I was sore all over from exhaustion, but my coworkers were all hyped up like crazy. Damn, this pic is drop-dead gorgeous. Wait, Ningbing's new behind-the-scenes shot is trending. I craned my neck to take a look. A candid photo was sparking heated discussions. In this scene, Ningbing's character runs into her ex by chance. Look at her eyes. She absolutely nailed it. Ningbing brought the female lead to life perfectly. In the photo, Ningbing is staring quietly ahead. Every move she makes is so elegant and poised, but there is a flaming fire burning in her eyes, unbridled and wild. What shocked me more was the edge of the photo. The blurry back figure in her line of sight was me. Shooting resumed the next day. The male lead had an accident. He had to go to the hospital. This was a key opposing scene between the two leads. No one could afford to delay it. The director was super anxious. He finally decided to find a stand-in first, to shoot Ningbing's parts first. Ningbing wanted to pick the stand-in herself. I was standing at the very edge of the crowd, but Ningbing's gaze landed right on me. Him. I'm busy, no time for more pics. The director had no objections at all. He even urged me to change into the male lead's costume quickly. I only needed to show my back on camera, but to avoid continuity errors, the makeup artist still did my makeup. When I stood in front of Ningbing, she zoned out for a split second. Ningbing asked me, "Are you very nervous? You've never acted before, right?" "You don't need to act. Just listen to me." She paused for a moment and added, "Relax. If you're tense, your body will go stiff. It'll look really unnatural on camera." "Okay, you can take deep breaths to calm down." "Thank you, Ms. Bai. When the camera is on me later, just listen to my lines. And also, Ningbing didn't finish her sentence. I looked up at her. "What else?" "Where's my chocolate?" She said each word slowly and deliberately. There was a sharp glint in her eyes. Just as intense as it was years ago. She slowly stretched out her hand. "Xiaoyu, it's been 7 years. You should have bought it by now, right?" I'm screwed, that was my first thought. Ningbing had probably recognized me long ago. Coincidentally, this scene was also where the female lead confesses her love to the male lead after their long separation. I was dazed for a second, thinking those were her real words to me. But how could that be possible? In real life, Ningbing never said romantic things to me. After shooting, the director gave me a thumbs up. "Xiaofang, you're really talented at acting. Your eye expression just now was perfect. Is there a possibility that both of us were acting as ourselves?" For the next few scenes, Ningbing specifically asked for me to coordinate with her. My head was spinning. There are too many interests tied to Ningbing. Even the director didn't dare to offend her. What else could this appointment be if not revenge? I was promoted from assistant to assistant director out of turn. Bai Ningbing's exclusive assistant director, I had to be around her 18 hours a day, but I did way more than just an assistant director's work. For example, when the crew needed to move heavy props, I just rolled up my sleeves. When Bai Ningbing stopped me, "Go buy me a cup of milk tea." Not just milk tea. She also ordered a lot of snacks. Delivery could have brought them over, obviously, but she insisted I go pick them up and bring them back myself. But to be fair, all my colleagues were super jealous of me. I got to hang out outside on paid time, but when I came back with the snacks, Bai Ningbing didn't feel like eating them anymore. After working under Bai Ningbing for a week like this, I actually gained weight as time went by. Even my colleagues got curious. "Is she buying snacks for you on purpose?" "No way, but she really indulges you a lot." Bai Ningbing is very strict. Her company also invested in this drama. All the previous assistant directors got yelled at by her, but she's never scolded you even once. That's not true. I'd be lucky if she doesn't torture me. I denied it flatly. The rumors on the set spread and reached Lu Jingnian's ears. Lu Jingnian hurried over immediately. "You're Bingbing's new assistant." I couldn't help correcting him. "It's assistant director." "You're so young. Can you even do the job well?" "Young Master Ji, please don't judge a book by its cover." Lu Jingnian stared at me for a long time. "Have I met you somewhere before? You've probably got the wrong person." I had no interest in catching up with a rich young master. I went back to sorting out the work plan. Lu Jingnian snorted. "I've met so many people from film crews like you. Don't think that just because Bingbing values you, you'll get a chance to move up the ranks. I advise you to know your place, or you'll be too late to regret when you get hurt." "What are you talking about?" "You look a bit like Bingbing's ex-boyfriend." After Lu Jingnian said these words, he waited for my reaction. He thought I would be shocked and upset. But I just looked at him confused and asked, "So what?" "She values you only as a substitute, not because she actually appreciates you. Bingbing hates that man." "Don't get too cocky." I put down the work I was doing, looked at him with a smile and said if she hates him, why would she look for a substitute? That doesn't make sense at all. Lu Jingnian had nothing to say in response. After he left, I couldn't calm down at all. Bai Ningbing hates me. So that's the truth. That night, Bai Ningbing suddenly texted me and asked me to bring her some medicine. Following the rule of never offending the lead actress, I bought the medicine and sent it up to her. I thought Bai Ningbing was just messing with me, but she was actually really sick. Beads of sweat as big as beans rolled down her forehead. "What's wrong with you?" "Stomachache. Where's your assistant?" "She went to the downtown area and can't make it back in time." "Weird, Bai Ningbing never had stomach problems before." "What's wrong with your stomach?" "I didn't eat properly the year I repeated high school." "Why didn't you eat?" "No one saved any food for me." She looked at me with half-closed eyes. That reminded me of when Bai Ningbing used to crash on my floor. I always saved a bit of food for her back then. By the time I finished my homework, she had already eaten all the food clean. The canteen food is gross. She still has the same stubborn personality. I saw a whole table of dishes on the table, still steaming hot. "Just delivered, can't eat with stomachache. What a waste. I've been eating crew box meals every day. I'm dying for good food, you eat it," she said seemingly casually. "It'll just go to waste anyway. If you don't eat it, help me throw it away." I broke apart a pair of disposable chopsticks and sat down by the table. I ate very quietly. The room was also very quiet. I thought Bai Ningbing had fallen asleep, so I turned my head. She was looking right at me, with a smile on the corner of her mouth. The second our eyes met, her smile disappeared immediately and went back to looking like the whole world owed her something. Nothing has changed at all. We sat in silence as usual. Neither of us said a word until I was about to leave. Bai Ningbing suddenly spoke up. "Lu Jingnian and I have no relationship at all. Nothing in the past, nothing now, and definitely nothing in the future." I nodded politely, but Miss Bai, I don't care anymore. My words made Bai Ningbing's face stay dark for days. "Whatever, we're almost wrapping the shoot anyway." But just a few days before we wrap, a pretty big accident happened. We were shooting a scene on a boat. It was windy. The sound recordist went to the bathroom. I paused his work and stood at the edge of the deck, holding a microphone longer than my height. I was a little off balance and wobbled unsteadily. A gust of strong wind blew over. I lost my footing and fell off the boat. Below was a lake. But I can't swim? Through the chaos, I heard a sharp yell. "Xiao Yu!" Bai Ningbing also jumped straight down. She grabbed me nervously, like she would never let go again. After that, I passed out and remembered nothing else. I woke up in a strange room. There was a handwritten note on the bedside table. "This is my home. It's not far from the filming base. I already asked for leave for you. Rest for a few days first. If you need to change clothes, there are newly bought men's clothes in the walk-in closet." The handwriting was obviously Bai Ningbing's. Many actors own apartments around the filming base. Bai Ningbing is no exception. I saw gossip about her before, saying she lives here most of the time. The house is very clean. I walked into the walk-in closet. A black umbrella was the first thing I saw. It was exactly the umbrella I held for Bai Ningbing many years ago. The umbrella is already very old, and not of good quality either, but it was placed right in the center of the walk-in closet. I suddenly remembered the day of heavy pouring rain. I used this umbrella to shield us from the strong wind and heavy rain. Bai Ningbing kept trying to kick me out. I don't know where I got the courage from. I yanked up her sleeve to check her wound. She was about to curse, but held it back. Luckily, we didn't need to go to the hospital. "Wait here, I'll go get medicine. I'll be right back." I stuffed the umbrella into her hand. "Hurry up and go!" 10 minutes later, I came back again. I bought both medicine and food. The heavy rain soaked me completely through. She stared at me in silence. From that day on, Bai Ningbing never said anything mean to me again. I found out later, she was actually super shocked that day. No one had ever come back for her before in her life. I was the first. End of flashback. I found some clothes and changed slowly, but before I finished putting on my top, the closet door suddenly swung open. Bai Ningbing and I stared at each other blankly. It was a little awkward. Bai Ningbing hurried back out right away. After I finished changing, "Why didn't you make any sound at all?" "I thought you left again." "Don't be mad." Bai Ningbing froze for a second. Her anger completely vanished. This line used to work really well before. Whenever Bai Ningbing lost her temper, I'd just say, "Don't be mad," softly. I didn't expect it still works now. "I haven't even blamed you yet. Why didn't you knock before coming into the closet? I didn't know you were in here." Her face flushed bright red. "I didn't see anything, okay? If you're upset about it, I can apologize to you, sorry. I noticed a long time ago that Bai Ningbing, even though she's stubborn and tough, is surprisingly innocent about some things. It's fine, I'm a little tired," I said without thinking. It's not like I haven't seen it before. I immediately realized that was inappropriate right after saying it. Sure enough, Bai Ningbing pressed her lips together, her face and neck all turning bright red. I quickly changed the subject. "No more scenes for you today." "Yep, all done. I'm gonna make kanji. Take your medicine later, okay? Because I fell into the water earlier. I caught a little cold." When Bai Ningbing brought the kanji over, she was still wearing an apron. I couldn't help staring at her a little longer. "You look really gentle wearing an apron." "What did you say?" I said thank you. Bai Ningbing's eyes lit up, but her tone was still gruff. "Finish all the food. Don't waste any of it. Is there anything else you want to eat? I can begrudgingly make it for you. No need to go through the trouble. Go do your own thing. I don't have any scenes tomorrow morning. I'm not going back to the set tonight. I have time to prep ingredients. Also, you sleep here tonight. I'll move to the guest room. There's no extra bedding in the guest room. You're sick, just lie in bed properly. Don't tire yourself out for no reason." Bai Ningbing pointed at the floor. "Same as old times. I'll sleep on the floor." I had a fever again in the middle of the night. Bai Ningbing barely slept at all. She changed the cold towel on my forehead every little while. I was delirious from the fever. I couldn't help having hallucinations. In a daze, I thought I was back in that small basement. Bai Ningbing was sleeping on the floor, staying several meters away from me like she was avoiding suspicion. There was a table between us. All I could see when I looked over was her thin back. Once when Bai Ningbing got sick, she held it in and didn't tell anyone. I noticed something was wrong in the middle of the night. When I got up, her forehead was burning hot. I got fever-reducing medicine for her and wiped her face over and over again. Bai Ningbing suddenly reached out and grabbed me. She held on for a long time, like she was scared I'd leave. She only let go after she fell asleep. That was the closest contact we had before graduation. Most of the time we were like total strangers. We'd even walk past each other at school without saying a word. I spent the whole night half-conscious. When I woke up the next day, Bai Ningbing was already gone. She was called to do reshoots last minute, but there were already cooked dishes on the table. Right in the middle was a pack of chocolate, the most expensive kind they sell. But halfway through my meal, someone came in the door. I thought it was Bai Ningbing coming back. But it was a strange woman. I had seen her before. I recognized her a little. Bai Ningbing's agent is also her best friend. The agent stared at me blankly. "Whoa." I tried so hard to explain. I'm just the assistant director of the crew. What's your name? Just call me Fang Xiaoyu. She almost jumped up in shock. Hung Xiaoyu. You're Fang Xiaoyu. She looked at me with a sudden realization. You're Xiaoyu. Seeing my confused look, I asked what was wrong. She went on to say, Bai Ningbing was looking for you like crazy before. She couldn't find you anywhere, so she just gave up on herself. She wouldn't eat or sleep. She was at her absolute lowest for a while. But now it's all good. She found you. She can finally relax now. After 7 years, she doesn't have to torture herself anymore. You're kidding, right? We only dated for 3 months. It's not that unforgettable. How come? Don't you know Bai Ningbing became a celebrity just for you? Because of her parents. She hated the whole celebrity profession her whole life. Her family wanted her to debut as a child star before. She turned them down every time. But right after you broke up with her, she suddenly said she wanted to be a celebrity. She said it's because you love movies. If she becomes a celebrity, she can stand on the brightest, highest spot so you can see her. I froze right away. That actually did happen. One night, I couldn't fall asleep. I started talking to Bai Ningbing. Bai, you asleep? No. I watched a movie today. The Shawshank Redemption is so good. Not interested? I want to make movies too in the future. But that costs a lot of money, right? Too bad I don't have money. Making movies doesn't cost that much. I thought she had no clue what she was talking about. Just being unrealistic. So I didn't say anything else. Turns out she remembered all of it. The agent sighed emotionally. Only 3 months and she's been hung up on you her whole life. Bai Ningbing came back in the afternoon. She asked her agent, "What are you doing here?" "You're wrapping up filming soon." I came to clean up a bit. "No need, you can go now. Also, I want to take a break for a while. Don't schedule any jobs for me." "Ugh, you ditch your friends for a guy. Remember when you couldn't find him before? You were crying your eyes out in front of me." Bai Ningbing cut her off awkwardly. "Don't say that stuff in front of my boyfriend." I corrected her, ex-boyfriend. "You never broke up with me to my face, so it doesn't count. I sent you a letter. Just a letter. That's nothing." I threw it away after reading it. Who knows if you even wrote it yourself? The agent saw what was happening and slipped away. "Weren't you mad when you read that letter? I said I'd dig up dirt on you. You don't have the guts to do that. Besides, whether any dirt got leaked or not, I can check the news myself, can't I?" I had nothing to say. Bai Ningbing went to wash some fruit. I went on speaking. Breaking up only needs one person's agreement. Whether you accept it or not, we haven't been together for a long time. Bai Ningbing froze for a second. She turned around to look at Fang Xiaoyu. "Then I'll chase you." "It's no use, Bai Ningbing. Are you mad at me? Because I lied to you. Didn't tell you about my family background. Or is it because of Lu Jinian? I didn't explain it to you clearly in time. Both and neither. Bai Ningbing, we're not from the same world. Don't force it." The room went dead silent. I don't know how much time passed. Her eyes were bloodshot. She said in a hurt voice, "I'm gonna force it anyway." I didn't take Bai Ningbing's words seriously. After filming wrapped, I went back to my hometown. My aunt's old house is getting demolished. She asked me to come help deal with the furniture, even though my aunt used to favor her own kids. She did raise me after all. I'm not gonna be an ungrateful jerk. On the way back, I passed my old high school. The school buildings were renovated a few years ago. It's changed a lot. I stood at the school gate for a while. Someone suddenly called out to stop me. "Hey, You're that one person. I remember you." A woman walked out of the janitor's room. She looked about my age. "Are you from this school? I remember you used to be in the same class as Bai Ningbing, right?" I nodded and asked, "And you are?" "I had a fight with Bai Ningbing before." "Oh, right, why are you alone today? Where's Bai Ningbing? She's always following you around, isn't she?" I froze for a second. "Following me around?" "Yeah, every day after evening self-study. Bai Ningbing would follow right behind you and watch you walk all the way home." "You didn't know that." I had no idea that was happening. Seeing I didn't believe her, the girl went on. "The time we fought, she suddenly called a timeout halfway through, said class was over, and she had to go back to school. I thought that was super weird back then." "Her? Going back to school?" "So I followed her, and turned out she was waiting at the gate forever. Waited till you came out, then followed you. She only came back to me after you got home. I found out later she was scared she'd offended someone, and you'd get dragged into it, so she had to make sure you were safe." The girl pointed at the sycamore tree in the corner. "She'd stand right there waiting for you." 17-year-old Bai Ningbing loved wearing black, so she blended right into the dark. A gust of wind blew past. It felt like she was standing right there. My aunt called to rush me. When I got there, they were clearing out the basement. The bed I used to sleep in, the desk I used, were all being carried out one by one. Xiaoyu, come quick, I found something. She pointed at a corner of the floor. It's covered with your name carved all over it. The girl did this, right? The one who became an actress. How did you know? Oh, she came to see me before. Do you remember once I found something here and yelled at you for it? You were so stubborn back then. I couldn't even stand you. You refused to tell the truth no matter what. Kept saying it was yours. But I knew you weren't that kind of kid. Thinking back to those days, my aunt looked a little nostalgic. The day I yelled at you, that girl was standing by the window. She saw the whole thing. Later, she came to see me in private, knelt down in front of me to apologize, begged me not to blame you. I twisted the hem of my shirt tight. Even my breathing slowed down. I was scared she'd be a bad influence on you. So I forbade her from crashing here again. So that's what happened. Near the end of 11th grade, Bai Ningbing stopped coming over to eat and crash here. She told me she found a place to live. Turns out she just didn't want to cause trouble for me. Those worn marks on the floor mean Bai Ningbing also spent plenty of sleepless nights here. Bai Ningbing never said a word, but she called my name thousands of times in her heart. The day before the demolition, I walked from the school gate to my aunt's house again. This familiar path was shaded by thick sycamore trees. I walked all the way to the end and saw that tiny window of the basement, like some kind of telepathy. I turned around. Bai Ningbing was standing across the street wearing a mask. 20 minutes later, we sat down at the restaurant we used to go to all the time. I hadn't taken any of her calls since I finished filming. I didn't think she'd still find me. The old pool hall was right next to the restaurant. I watched people coming in and out, and suddenly I needed an answer. Bai Ningbing, I came here looking for you that summer vacation. You were so impatient and chased me away. Do you have any idea how hurt I was? Bai Ningbing was stunned for a second. I wasn't impatient at all. I was just scared and anxious back then. That pool hall isn't a good place. The people I met that day were bad news too. Those girls were trying to set me up the whole time. When you showed up, I was so scared. I was terrified they'd target you. Bai Ningbing frowned tightly. Trying to remember carefully, I'm so sorry. I was way too nervous. That you misunderstood me. Right then, the boss called our order number. I asked Bai Ningbing to grab a bottle of water for me while she was at it. The second she left, a few women surrounded me. Hey, handsome, give us your contact info, yeah. Was that your girlfriend just now? Why's she wearing a mask to eat? Is she crazy? I gave them a cold stare and turned to leave. Whoa, someone's got a temper, huh?
Do you even know who runs this neighborhood?
The lead woman reached out to touch me. The next second, she howled in pain. I had her wrist twisted almost all the way back. I don't hit women. Right at that moment. Bai Ningbing also came back. If she won't hit you, I will. Bai Ningbing dropped her fake persona completely. She was radiating pure rage. I stared in shock. It was really her. The Bai Ningbing I knew was back. I had zero doubt that Bai Ningbing could take on 4 guys and knock all of them out. But I had to stop her. Her identity is special right now. She can't get into fights. But Bai Ningbing was super stubborn. She was glaring daggers at the 4 of them. She was determined to get justice. Come back, Bai Ningbing, don't be mad. I tugged at her hand. Bai Ningbing froze immediately. It was like all the anger just washed out of her. All her strength drained away. Even her sharp edges softened up. Fine then, let's drop it. Bai Ningbing, let's run. Bai Ningbing grabbed my hand tightly. We sprinted outside. We ran through streets and crowds. We ran and ran. We didn't feel tired at all. Our heartbeats thudded loudly in our ears. Thump, thump, thump. The last time I heard this sound, it was also when this girl gave me my first teenage crush flutters. Right now, she still looked like that stubborn teenage girl. We ran all the way to my aunt's house and snuck into the basement. There was nothing left in here. It was scheduled for demolition tomorrow. There weren't even any lights. Only moonlight was shining through. Xiaoyu, we spoke at the exact same time. We agreed I'd talk first. You used to walk me home every day. I had a bad temper back then. I'd offended a lot of people. I couldn't bear to let you walk alone. Why didn't you tell me back then? What was the point of telling you? She said with a smile. You were supposed to get into college. Just focus on your studies. I'll handle everything else. I pointed at the carving on the ground. What do these mean then? It means I like you. I froze for a second. When we were 18, you never said that. Bai Ningbing lowered her eyes and spoke slowly, because I didn't know how to say it back then. Bai Ningbing had a pretty unusual childhood. Technically, she had parents, but they were barely present. She grew up in a cold, unaffectionate environment. No one ever taught her how to love someone, or how to show that love. Bai Ningbing thought being available whenever someone needed you, and spending money on them counted as confessing. When I confessed to her first, she was actually really happy, but she wasn't used to being loved, or being close to someone. That's why she acted so distant. Bai Ningbing even practiced saying "I like you" in the mirror. But it felt so weird. She couldn't bring herself to say it out loud, so she decided to write it down instead. She learned from other girls to fold 1,000 paper cranes. She wrote "I like you" inside every single one. She planned to give them to me for my birthday, but she never got the chance to. Later, when she started acting, she got to live all kinds of different lives through her roles. She finally learned how to express her feelings, but the person she wanted to tell was already gone. We were quiet for a while. I kept asking, "What about Lu Jingnian?" Bai Ningbing shook her head. "I'm nice to him. Because he saved my life once, you know? When I was little, my parents didn't care about me. He was the only one who came to play with me. Once I had a really bad fever. He was the first one who noticed. He cried and threw a fit. To get the adults' attention, that's how they found out I was sick. The doctor said if they'd come any later, I would have had permanent brain damage." Talking about the past, Bai Ningbing gave a bitter laugh. Ever since then, I promised him I'd treat him like my own brother and be good to him. All these years, I really did see him as family. But that summer, there was something else going on. Lu Jingnian threatened me. If I didn't let him tag along, he'd go snitch to my parents and make them hate you for good. My parents have always trusted Lu Jingnian a lot. If he twists the truth and exaggerates things, it will be really bad for you. Also, I don't trust my parents' moral character at all. If they take their anger out on you, they might pull strings behind the scenes to make sure you can't even go to college. It hit me, so that's why you told me not to mess with him. That's right. Bai Ningbing knew exactly what I was talking about. Lu Jingnian said you framed him, and I didn't believe a single word of it. Back then, I only wanted you to have nothing to do with him at all, not even talk to him. That's the only way you would be safe. She looked a little upset. I had no idea you would misunderstand me this badly. You could have just asked me directly, you know? Thinking back on the past, all sorts of feelings welled up in my chest. She doesn't know how to love someone properly. But do I? No, I don't either. Getting abandoned by my biological parents one after another made me lose the courage to question anyone. In my world, only studying and working hard can earn me a rare compliment and keep me from being abandoned again. That's why when I'm with Bai Ningbing, I'd rather be miserable to death than ask her even one question. I don't even dare to lose my temper. Not knowing how to love is a problem both of us have. The moonlight was as cool as water. But there was one more thing. I told Bai Ningbing clearly. Your parents paid for my study abroad. I already guessed that. Actually, I could have chosen not to go, but that was probably my only chance to study abroad. I was selfish that one time. I get it. Bai Ningbing smiled. It was extra gentle. Xiaoyu, you're too kind. I really wish you'd be a little more selfish, so you don't get hurt by others. I will also focus on my career from now on. Sounds good. I'll follow your lead. You're the Best Actress Award winner. You have a boundless future ahead. Why would you follow me? Even me winning the Best Actress Award. All happened because of you. But we only dated for 3 months. But my feelings for you lasted way longer than 3 months. Bai Ningbing has super strong execution ability. The day after we cleared up the misunderstanding, she posted on Weibo to make our relationship public. And even tagged me. 3 months for a whole lifetime. The trending search page almost crashed. Everyone online was eating up the gossip. I was really worried Bai Ningbing's parents would give her a hard time again, but I was overthinking it. Bai Ningbing is 25 years old. Even if her parents don't agree, there's not much they can do. With Bai Ningbing's personality, they can't interfere with her decisions at all. Or maybe they couldn't control her even 7 years ago, which is why they came after me instead. I just lost to my own insecurities. After Bai Ningbing made our relationship public, another person also landed on the trending searches. That same day, Lu Jingnian came to find me aggressively. I was wondering why you looked familiar. So you're Fang Xiaoyu. Yeah, so what? Break up with Bingbing right now. I'm the one who's engaged to her. I opened my mouth, about to speak but held back. Bai Ningbing showed up, standing right behind Lu Jingnian. Lu Jingnian was still being provocative. Have you seen the public opinion online? Everyone says you're a kept man, that you came between me and Bai Ningbing. If you don't want to lose your job, break up with her right now and give her back to me. What relationship do I have with you? How come I never knew about it? Bai Ningbing spoke up out of nowhere. Lu Jingnian panicked. Bingbing, how did you get fooled by this poor boy again? Watch your mouth. Bai Ningbing slammed her hand on the table. Her tone sounded threatening. You said you'd treat me as a brother. Why are you losing your temper at me for no reason? I've already done everything I can for you. If you're my brother, you shouldn't want anything more. Otherwise, we can't even be friends. No one had ever talked to Lu Jingnian like that before, so he was furious. Bai Ningbing, you must be obsessed with him, right? I'm gonna hold a press conference. Just you wait. Everyone will know he's a kept man. There's no way he can shake that label off. First of all, there's no written proof of our engagement at all. It was just a joke between our parents, and I've publicly denied it many times already. Bai Ningbing narrowed her eyes slightly. Second, if you dare hold that conference, don't blame me for not being nice to you. But this poor guy doesn't deserve you at all. Bai Ningbing looked at him suddenly with a hint of pity. You bring up the word poor every time you open your mouth. Lu Jinian, have you ever truly liked someone? Of course I do, I like you. No, you don't like me. Bai Ningbing cut him off. What if my last name wasn't Bai, and I didn't have celebrity parents? What if I was just a rebel girl? Would you still like me? Lu Jinian froze, like he'd never thought about this question before. Imagine it's a rainy day. You see me sitting by the road looking like that rebel girl. Would you hold an umbrella for me? No way, right? You'd just call me trash under your breath. You're in love with my identity, not who I actually am. You can't even accept the fact that I used to be a rebel girl. Bai Ningbing grabbed my hand and walked away. When I looked back, Lu Jinian was still standing there frozen. He looked totally shaken. I wonder if he finally got it. But a week later, I heard Lu Jinian's press conference went ahead as scheduled. Bai Ningbing had no right to stop the press conference, but she'd prepared a lot to handle the upcoming crisis. But the press conference was nothing like we expected. Lu Jinian showed up on camera in a fancy outfit, but his face looked gaunt and exhausted. Today I have an announcement to make. Bai Ningbing and I are not engaged. The entire crowd burst into commotion. Everyone showed up for juicy gossip, like the best actress cheating on her partner or something. Bai Ningbing and I grew up together. Because our two families have business cooperation, but she sees me as an older brother, and I only see her as a younger sister. The engagement rumor is totally made up. Neither of us ever acknowledged it. Our parents only mentioned it casually, it never counted. I never had romantic feelings for Bai Ningbing, and neither did she. I hope everyone stops spreading these false rumors. As for Fang Xiaoyu, Lu Jinian paused for a couple seconds, and said seriously, he is Bai Ningbing's first love. I used to judge people by their appearance, and I owe him a huge apology. Public opinion reversed instantly. Netizens dug up some arrogant comments Lu Jinian made before. Everyone was talking about it. But the good thing is, all the PR plans Bai Ningbing prepared were unnecessary. I was super confused. Why did he suddenly change his tune? Bai Ningbing grinned. If he didn't change his attitude, our two families won't have any business to do together anymore. Bai Ningbing has the most say in her family now. She's also in charge of the family business. Lu Jinian caved for the sake of the business cooperation. Half a year later, Bai Ningbing's father got sick. He couldn't keep working anymore. Her mom also turned down most of her work schedules and stayed home to take care of him. Bai Ningbing, on the other hand, her career was going smoother than ever. She held all the power. No elder in her family could interfere with any of her decisions anymore. Once Bai Ningbing figured things out, she was like a whole new person. Whatever she lacked in the past, she wants to make up for it twice as much now. Half of her Weibo posts are about me. She also mentions me when she's on shows. I used to be a delinquent girl. It's my boyfriend who pulled me out of the darkness and let me see a ray of light. But there's a side effect too. Whenever she can't find me, Bai Ningbing panics, scared that I'll leave again without a word. Sometimes when she wakes up in the middle of the night, she hugs me tight and won't let go. She keeps calling my name, Xiaoyu, the cold and aloof best actress in everyone else's eyes. Acts all clingy and cute only with me. She calls my name over and over again. It reminds me of the carving buried in the dust all those years ago. When I was 27, Bai Ningbing and I went back to our old high school. Youth is like the 4 seasons. It comes and goes in cycles. There are always young people. There are always people flustered by their first crush. Outside the old classroom back then, there was a huge phoenix tree. We stood under that tree, listening to the sound of students reading aloud. Bai Ningbing, it's been 7 years. What if I never came back? You would have come back. You're that sure? You came back that rainy day, so I knew you'd come back this time too. I'm the only person who ever left and came back to her life. And I still am. We stood under the classroom window. Bai Ningbing stood on her tiptoes and kissed me. Xiaoyu, I love you. I picked up an unwanted rebel girl back in high school. Today is the 10th anniversary of the day I picked her up. It's also the first day we officially got married. If someone asked me in the future what I received, what's the best love letter I've ever received, I'll tell him, it's the small path we took after school. It's the nights we kept each other company.